I love the self-awareness that I have. I love the type of mother that I am. I love the color of my skin. I love my ability to have strong, I'm gonna get emotional now. I love the network of like strong sisters that I have, and I'm so proud to have you in as one of them. So yes.
The podcast Chisme is not really an hour. Guys, welcome back to another session of the Chingona Chisme hour. The podcast, it's not an hour. I've been saying that, but lately it's been an hour. So we'll see.
Almost 2 hours.
Oh, nah, not 2 hours. Nah, that's like major cap right there. Not 2 hours, but kind of close. No, just kidding. We're back here with my beautiful friend, Nikki Santos.
Hello, hello.
I wanted you to come back on the podcast because I felt like Okay, I'm already getting emotional. I feel like the last podcast, there was such good gems in there that when I go back to watch it, like, I felt like you needed more time to kind of share, like, your wisdom with us. And, like, I don't know. I just love the way you think because our friendship is rooted in, like, such innocence. And I love those friendships where, like, you don't need anything from anybody. You just kind of, like, you know, you're just friends because you like each other. But you're the friend that always makes me think about stuff from a different perspective.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I don't really... I have to sit with the stuff that you talk about, and I'm just like, man, I have a therapist. And I love her, but talking with Nikki is like, dang, it's like a whole other therapy session because you're just like thinking about, you know, what you say and what you do. But
That's so sweet. You know, I'm such a girl's girl, and I keep my circle tight. And so I want the best in all of the people that are in my circle. And I think that we have a genuine, true sisterhood because we can have conversations that go beneath surface level.
right.
And whenever I'm done visiting with you, very similarly, I feel so good and so happy. Even in walking in your business, the energy, everything just feels so good. And so I'm just continually inspired by you and just so happy to be back to visit today.
Yeah. I love that you get to come visit often, and I always just like, hopefully, like, you have time in your busy schedule to stop by, and I'm just like, girl. She just started sharing her location, so I know where she's at.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm driving to you. No, but like, I do. I think sometimes, like, in, you know, friendship, and especially like in our like culture and how we like thrive as a community, I never really understood the concept of like the deepness of friendship with other females because I wasn't close to my mother like growing up. And so I always had like a very reserved like perspective per se of how friendships with women would be based on that. And it wasn't until I got into 4th grade that I had like, you know, met my very best friend like from like childhood. And then I didn't experience that again until high school when I met my best friend Christina. And then I didn't experience it again until the first day of college when I met Teresa. And then it didn't happen again until, you know, I turned 37 and I met Lauren, you know. So I've always had like these large gaps and then like meeting you, and it's just always like having women in your life that can pour into you but also have earned their place in your life to tell you like when you're doing some shit and you need to like tighten up. You know what I mean? Like those are the types of friendships that I really, really enjoy having, because when you can get checked by someone that you love and you respect and you know they're right, for me that's like a once in a lifetime type of thing. And I hope that you have that type of friend too that's like, girl, you are tripping.
Yes.
Like
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've got a powerful girl squad of Native and women of color, and we talk to each other almost every day.
yeah.
And you can have the good conversations, share the funny memes, But when something goes down with my family, with my daughter, with somebody, and I just need somebody, maybe not necessarily to give me advice or think practically, but somebody to hold space,
Right.
that's when I feel like it can either be very lonely or you can lean into people that you care about. And I think that's something that I love about you is we can go for a while without visiting and then send each other something funny, and it kind of starts with a meme or it starts with like a girl, and then it just turns into something real. But you know, it's so special. And I was thinking about how you said that you didn't have the strongest relationship with your mom. And my mom and I are very close, and you know, I talk to her pretty much every day as well. And when I was growing up in high school, she was working so hard, also getting her master's degree, trying to do so much. But I also felt like I was abandoned. And it took me a while to realize that my mom was doing the best that she could at that time.
Right.
And to be more gentle and realize, we talked about this last time, like she's also going through life for the very first time. She's being a mom for the very first time. And so giving her that and seeing her that way, it's made me love and respect her so much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just something so special about a sisterhood, a group of women that's like, these are my girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with that. I feel like my life would completely fall apart if I didn't have like my sounding board. The thing that helps reassure me that I'm doing the right things. And then also to allowing them to tell me like, nah girl, you're doing too much, you know.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. When you and I had lunch last time I was in town, I left and I was worried about you because you were doing too much.
Yeah.
You were holding and navigating, and you are such a fierce leader and practical, and you go after what you need. And that time I was just like, God, you need a vacation. And so you went.
I did.
And I want to hear how it was for you and what you learned about yourself.
Yeah.
And where did you go and what did you eat?
I think I was like on the brink of burnout, and you know, I know you left and then you texted me,
I was like, are you okay?
are you good? Like now I'm actually worried. And then you text me again like an hour after that and you're like, hey, I just want you to know. And I was just like, oh great, now she's worried about me. But I think what it is that, you know, when I think about what the true definition and what is all encompassing about Prado's beauty, it's not about being the first. It's not about, you know, those are the perks of it. That is like the, you know, harvest of your hard work, like what you've sown. I think what I was doing was I was trying so hard to survive in a space that wasn't created for us. And I was feeling that like a ton of bricks. You know, there's a lot of indie beauty brands who have closed this year. Some that have been, you know, owned by my friends, you know. My friend Manara, she has the first halal like beauty brand. She's a Muslim woman, and her brand closed. You know, it was that for me was something that I would stay up at night just stressed about, because I felt like I wasn't just carrying the weight for Prados, but I was also carrying the weight for her to continue in a space where I don't want to be the only one. I want to create more opportunities. I want to make the mistakes so that whoever comes after me doesn't make the same mistakes. And I also have ADHD, so my anxiety level is like through the roof, and I will just replay the most awful, horrific, like worst case scenario things in my brain, and it's taxing. And I think you saw that. I was trying so hard to not like dump it on you and just be like, but this is what I'm going through. And I think that, you know, through friendship and having a good relationship where like I can share those deep, you know, feelings of like, I feel like, I think I said I felt like a failure at some point and that I'm failing. And those are like real, honest, true emotions that like entrepreneurs and leaders feel, not because we are, but it just feels like that because we know what somebody else is doing and how easy it was for them to do it. But like, why is it so hard for us to do it? And so when you're like, girl, you need a vacation. You're like, I need you to get off this damn phone and go book them tickets, and you need to go somewhere. And you're like, and then call me back when you get back. And because I was like, I'm just ready to walk away. And you're like, no, like,
no, you do not.
Yeah, you're like, I think you're tired. You know, I think you need a vacation. And I was like, you know, what? How can I do that? How can I go on a vacation? Can I leave my staff? Can, you know? And Teresa's like, you do need a vacation. Like, just go. At some point, I was like, I don't want to go. Even the night before, I was like, you know, I think I'm just gonna cancel the trip. Yeah. And she's like, you know what? I need you to shut the hell up, and like, I'll drive you to the airport myself. She's like, you just need to go. And I think it was just that, you know, not necessarily walking away, but like giving it to somebody else just for a moment. And I left and came back, and Prados is still running, and I was really proud. You know, I was really proud of, you know, Teresa, for doing everything that she did, and Steph and Sophie and Anissa. Like, they just came and they rallied, and they allowed me that time to just kind of not reach burnout, but like just be right there, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is that saying? Rest is revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, also, rest is resilience, and it's also like, for me, rest is like a healing, allowing yourself to just say, okay, like, I need to take a time out and just rest. But I did go on a vacation. I went to Paris, which was nice, but honestly, it's kind of overrated.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. The food was good. The culture is a lot different. Like, the people aren't very, like, I guess what the word is, like, very straight faced, like very like cut and dry, like to the point. Where we're, you know, if you go to Mexico, everyone's like, oh, like hugs and kisses, and like you could totally see the difference in the culture.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not to say that, you know, French people are all like that, because I have some really nice French friends. But like, I think also too, like, when people say like, oh, you know, in Paris there's a lot of tourism and they don't like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't like the tourists. Yeah.
They don't like the tourists. I felt that. And I was like, I'm a tourist, but like, I think you guys are cool. Can I get a baguette?
Can I have a croissant?
Can I get a croissant? You know, like, I really enjoyed my time there. It was like the hottest days of the summer there, though, really? Like in the history. So it was hot.
The times I do travel, I try to not be a tourist. Mm-hmm. But in Europe, with our skin, there's no avoiding being a tourist.
No, I had a Chingona shirt on. Like, and I literally had like a lot of French people come up to me and just be like, are you from Mexico? And I'm like, yes. Like, they love like Latinas, Mexican, you know, women there. And I was just like, yeah. And I even had one have a conversation with me in a coffee shop about, like, they're watching, the world is watching what's happening, you know, and they're just like, you know, they're very much aware of like the immigration and stuff that was happening here in the U.S. It was crazy to me.
Yeah.
That was another thing about the news on BBC. They play everything. Like, they show everything. There was stuff on there that I didn't even know. And I recorded some of it and I sent it to my friends, and I'm like, did you guys know about this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, they report on this stuff. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
Wow. When I was little, we lived in Germany. I don't remember it very much, but my mom told me a story. You know, my hair is naturally curly. Obviously, I'm brown. Mm-hmm. And she told me that old German women used to cross the street to touch my hair. Mm-hmm. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Is this a doll?
Right.
Is this a wig? But that
Sounds like me in the South. When I go to Alabama with Daniel,
yeah, it just
they'll
stand
literally
out.
stare at you.
It's yeah. Well, you're beautiful, so of course they're gonna stare at you.
Aw, thank you.
Yes. You know, I went to on my first trip. My first international trip was not so long ago, and I went to Rome all by myself, not fully knowing what to expect. Visited with a few friends who had been there, of course. They gave the recommendations, best coffee shops, best bakeries, things like that. But what I wasn't prepared for was to be completely out of my comfortable, chaotic space and to be completely immersed, not just in a different time zone, but in a place where nobody looks like me, nobody speaks my language. And I wonder what that experience was like for you, because there are so many lessons. I was also going through an incredibly traumatic point in my life, and I learned how to not be so hard on myself, to be more gentle and forgive myself. And I also learned how much I love to be alone and do things independently.
Yeah.
And so I wonder, what were some experiences that you may have had, and what are you coming back as you're walking into Prados now? What are some of these lessons that you're going to be moving forward with that you learned on your trip?
Yeah. No, I spent a lot of time by myself there on that trip, especially when I was in Paris. So I went from Paris to Amsterdam, and then from Amsterdam I went to Poland. And Daniel was still working like those days. But I was alone a lot, and I cried a lot on those days. I cried a lot on those days because I did feel like a fish out of water. I did feel like I was a foreign in someone else's country, on someone else's land. And I went there with such like reverence and respect that I wasn't on my land. And I thought to myself, like, we're not afforded the same, we're not afforded the same respect that you're a guest here, like, and so I told you before we started recording, I was kind of angry at some point too, because I was just like, this place is beautiful, your land is beautiful, the trees and the mountains, and like, it's beautiful here. Why don't you want to be here on your traditional land? Like, you know what I mean? And so when I was alone a lot, I was kind of looking at myself from a different perspective, that, like, who am I as a person outside of what everyone builds you up to be? And is that person that they build you up to be, is that like your true self? And I asked myself like that a lot. Because social media is a portrayal of whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
People will see like the happy, funny, but like they don't always get to see like the raw, hard stuff, the hard days. And I try my very best to be very transparent on social media and share those hard times too, not just the successes, but like the things that make it hard. But I just turned 40, and I can see myself changing like a lot. The things that were important to me are no longer important. And things that weren't important to me are like some of the most important things that I'm trying to grasp now as I change. Time for me right now is everything. I have learned to say no to a lot of things. And I'll keep fucking saying no. Because it's not, it doesn't fill me like it used to. I would say yes to everything, because I thought this is my only opportunity and these aren't going to come all of the time. So let me say yes to everything and stretch myself so thin and eat bad and have acne and never drink water and never sleep. But now it's like, I don't ever want to do that shit. Like, I don't want to feel like that ever. I want time. Time for me is everything right now. And so that trip really helped me enjoy time and then create a opportunity for myself and some kind of strength to say like, okay, like now it's time for me to step back a little bit and develop other people so that I can enjoy time and so that they can enjoy success.
I love that. And I can like sense it. I can tell that you're in a really good spot with that. So I'm happy for you. Oh,
Thank you.
I love that. My, before I went, my best friend, her mom passed away of cancer. So it's like my mom. And she had told me, just because at that time I was traveling so much for work, and she told me, you get to visit places that I'll never get to visit. And so when you go to those places, see it through my eyes too. And I've always thought about that. And no matter where I go, how am I experiencing these things, seeing the landscape, the buildings, not just through my eyes, but through the eyes of people who will never have the opportunity. Right. Traveling is such a privilege, especially international travel.
Right.
And the most profound moment was when I had to go give a speech at the Vatican. And I wore an elk tooth dress, moccasins. I had my nails done. Like, I was just in Digibati at that point. And I remember before giving my speech, I needed to say something that was heavy on my heart. And I felt it as soon as we pulled up. They had these escorts for us in this van, and you could see all of these people in these different robes, and just kind of understanding that you are in a very Catholic, I don't know if I would say holy, but in a space like that. And I had, before I talked, there were the translators in everybody's ears, and I shared that I am a product of boarding school, and that my people have survived boarding school, and how profound it was for me to be able to be here today, speaking in the very birthplace, in the core, in the center of Catholicism. And it was such a strange moment for me that I got so emotional. But, there I am today, being able to speak. And somebody in the church came up to me afterward, and he was crying, and he gave me this coin, and I'm sure there's some kind of significance to it. And he goes, you could throw it away if you want, but I just wanted to give it to you.
He's like, I'm so sorry. Here's this coin. Take it.
But you can throw it away.
Or throw it away if you want. I totally understand.
Yeah. But it was such a weird moment. But in that time, I never call on my ancestors unless it's a very serious time, because like in our ways, it's meant to be very like cultural, spiritual.
Right.
But before I spoke, I asked my mom's mom, like all my ancestors, the people who never made it home out of boarding school, to come be with me in that moment and use me as a vessel.
Right.
And yeah, it was such a strange moment. And then afterward, leaving the space and being like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm going to go get me some coffee. No,
I visited so many churches when I was
That's crazy.
There. It's funny. Daniel's agnostic, but he loves going to...
They're really beautiful.
He loves going to the churches, and I'm like, what is it? Do you love the landscape, or like, what is it? And he's like, no, I think it's really interesting how everything inside every church in Europe is so intricately designed. There's like silver and gold everywhere. There's carved out statues. He's like, and all of this is built off the backs of poor people. And then once it was done being built, they were not allowed to come in here and worship, because now you've got the bones of bishops and saints spread throughout the churches to make the place more holy. And I was just like, I just kind of looked at him like,
okay, Daniel.
I know. I was like, okay, I never thought of it like that. I always just thought of it as like a holy place, because I grew up in a religious household. The Yoemi culture, Yoemi people, our culture and tribes are very much intertwined and hidden in Catholicism. That's how we survived. And so, going to these all of these churches. After like the 10th church, I was like, you know what, honey, I'm sorry, but like I'm good. Like if I don't ever step foot in another church, like I'm good. Because it kind of just gave you a different perspective about that time and how they thought about people and how they categorized people. And when you're still feeling that today, I feel like it's a really heavy feeling, and so I just didn't want to be in it.
Yeah.
And
I
it
could see that.
continued that journey, you know, while I was on the vacation, like of who am I outside of what everyone else thinks? Who am I to my core? And do I like myself? And what don't I like about myself? You know? And what do I like about myself? Like I have a whole journal that I just wrote while I was in, you know, Europe for 3 weeks. And I was just talking to somebody yesterday about how self-reflection is one of the hardest things that
It's really
you'll
hard.
have to do for yourself, but it's such a gift if you can tear away your own layers and take like a deep look at yourself and I don't know, just kind of have a come to Jesus with yourself, as they say. As my mother and, you know, my mother-in-law says, she go have a come to Jesus. I'm like, what does that mean? I had to Google it because I was like, it's like a Southern thing. I don't know. But yeah, it was just kind of like, you know, what season am I in right now?
So that makes me wonder. And I mean, this is something that I struggle with, just being vulnerable and honest, something that I struggle with most days. But I had to do this exercise in this fellowship that I was in. And it was our very first icebreaker. We broke out in intimate groups. It was just me and one other person. And for 2 minutes straight, I would ask the same exact question. And I'm going to ask it to you. What do you love about yourself?
Oh, man. What do you love? What do I love about myself? I feel like this year, I feel like, I don't know, something happens to me on my birthdays, like every year. I don't know if it's just that I've completed like another trip around the sun and my body and my mind knows it. But I feel like this year is like the year that I love myself more than I've ever loved myself. I'm probably going to cry right now. One of the things that I really enjoy and love about myself right now, and I say enjoyment is because I used to carry it with such a burden. But what I love and really like about myself right now is my ability to like see the good in fucked up situations or even people. And I think that that is a self-reflection of yourself. That is like a coming full circle with allowing you to forgive yourself for the mistakes or like the shortcomings of who you were as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, as someone like trying to find themselves. I feel like it's so hard for us to give ourselves any type of mercy or grace at any point in time because we have this idea that we should be a different way. And we're not. We're supposed to be ourselves. And so figuring out who I am every single day has allowed me to love the fact that I can see the good in myself on my bad days, and I could see the good in myself in most people on their bad days. I love my body. I don't know what happened. Everyone's like, you're usually hiding under like baggy clothes, but like I have developed such an appreciation and love for my body. My stretch marks, my curves, like all of the things, because I look at my children run around and I'm just like, I carried those people. Like yeah, my body's gonna be messed up. Like, but I carried, like, I grew whole humans inside of me, and I almost died doing it. But like, that's something that I have. And also, I would say one of the most profound things that I love about myself right now is, you know, how much I'm able to separate myself from situations and say that, like, this doesn't serve me. It's protecting me. It's almost like if like, I can see a little me walking behind me and I'm protecting her. Like,
That's beautiful.
yeah, that's one of the things where I'm just like, no, we're not going to do that. And feeling confident in that.
How does it feel to, well, first of all, thank you for sharing those with me. Those are really beautiful things to love about yourself. And those are things I love about you too.
Thank you for loving me.
How does it feel to not only identify them, but to speak truth into those things?
I think there's this overwhelming sense of clarity and an overwhelming sense of, like, freedom that you feel in being honest and being truthful. I feel like as a Chicana and Indigena woman, like, that I was raised with this idea that I'm supposed to be this way all the time, whether it's in my family or, you know, just in life in general. And not to say that, like, I wasn't the perfect kid, but I think I was a good kid. Like, I always had, you know, it in the back of my mind that I needed to be good. But you don't always want to be good. Like, like, you want to, you know, you want to be wild and free sometimes and make mistakes. And I always tell my kids, like, it's okay if you get in good trouble. You know, those things, like, decide who you're going to be, like, when you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can be honest about who you are and you don't have to apologize or try to cover it up or put on a facade or, you know, she's like, hey, like, this is who I am. Like, love me or leave me. Like me or don't. I think there's a lot of freedom in that.
I love that. That's amazing. You know, I struggle to identify things for myself. And I don't know if it's because our society has programmed us to constantly strive to be better, to look a certain way, to act a certain way. You know, as you said, like, you had a pressure to be a good girl all the time.
Right.
And so I think I've learned to love the journey of self-acceptance and really understanding myself, to understand that sometimes I struggle with worthiness or belonging, but that it's okay. And something that I've learned and experienced, even though I had been preaching it for years, was that worthiness isn't something that you have or you don't have. It is inherent. It is a birthright.
Right.
And so to be able to lean into that and feel it has been really amazing for me. Something else that I love, but a lot of people don't love, is I'm always straight up.
No, I love that. I appreciate a very, very honest person.
Yeah, yeah.
Teresa's probably, like, the most honest person that I've ever met in my life.
She's a Taurus, isn't she?
She's a Taurus.
Okay. Yes,
She's like, she does not BS.
Yes. Yeah.
She will just tell it like it is, and she'll just, you know, like, she just doesn't have time.
I love that about her. Okay.
Where me, I'm like, nah, like, you can't treat people like that. Like, you don't even, you don't know this person. She's like, I know this person. I'm telling you right now.
She sees them.
Yes. She sees them. And, you know, Daniel's the same way. Daniel can see people from, like, miles away. And he's like, baby, you will drag a dead body for miles just because there might be a
because you see the good. Yes.
Of hope that you could bring them back to life. And I'm like, that's just That's just my heart. Like, that's just how I operate. So I will take the long road to try to help somebody. And he's like, once I get to the end of the road, I'm like, I couldn't help him. He's like, I told you.
But also, how blessed are you to have people that you are so close with that have these different traits that can be complementary to you.
Right.
Call you out when you need it, call you in when you need it.
Right.
You know, that's...
Teresa's like role in my life has been more of a protector all the time. Like, she just doesn't play about me, like, at all. And I feel like we all need that friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that friend for Lauren. I don't play about Lauren, like, at all. You say anything, I will come out of my character. Like, I'm serious. I've done it a time or two, and she's like, you don't need to do that. And I'm like, I do. I need to do it because, like, you're my friend. I love you. It is my job to protect you. I feel like we all need that friend.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
And she's like, you're always so kind and caring and loving to everyone. I'm like, I am. At my core, that is who I am. But don't bring me out of my character and show you somebody else, because I don't like that person either, but I will be that person because you've given me no other choice. Mm-hmm. And some people are just, they are also designed to try to hurt you for no reason, because they're insecure, because they're jealous. And that happens happens in the women's circles so often.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, you don't need to be that way.
Yeah, lateral violence is like experienced it way too many times from like,
yeah, and it's just it cuts your feet, it cuts your kneecaps off to be able to grow in certain areas because of insecurity. And so protecting peace, protecting your friends, protecting your circle is like number one priority. And I wish you didn't have to be that way. I wish you could just all live in harmony and love each other. But Daniel's like, you live in a fantasy world. And I'm like, no, because I've seen it. I've walked into rooms with women where they are all holding admiration for each other, and there's no jealousy and there's no competition. They literally just want to see you win. I have been in those rooms. And so when you see that, you want to create that all the time. But just, I mean, sometimes you can't. And you just got to walk away. You'll have Teresa being like, hell nah, this ain't it. We need to go. And I'm like, no, let's wait. She's like, we're leaving. You know, so it's just, I think that's something that I'm coming into is not giving so many chances and, you know, wearing my heart on my sleeve all the time.
Yeah.
And allowing people to, you know.
I find that's also a superpower, though. I mean, I also have my heart on my sleeve. I love deeply and fiercely. You know, my sisterhood, the people that I care or love about most. And I thought about, even this summer, I had an experience where we took my kid, my sister, her kids, and we just went up to our traditional homelands in North Idaho. And it was like on the Montana border, like North Idaho. And there are so many memories that I have that are pretty rough. From walking into a restaurant being told it's closed, clearly because of the color of my skin. Driving through neighborhoods, seeing Confederate flags, and but this one was such a beautiful moment for me. So my mom's cousin, Frankie, who's like my grandpa, he said, I want to take you girls somewhere real special. Me, my mom, my sister, and all the wild kids. And so we go down these dirt roads through the mountains. And the fact that this man knows these dirt roads so good is remarkable. We get out, he goes, okay, now we're going to hike. We hike over a mile. And I'm like, how does he know this? And then all of a sudden we come across this meadow and we all just get overwhelmed with emotion and knowing that it's a powerful place. And he looks at my kids, as in my nieces, nephews, and my daughter. And he starts counting and he goes, you are at least the sixth or seventh generation that has been on this land. And then he pointed to an area and he looked at me and he goes, this is where your grandma and great grandma used to camp their teepees and would pick berries during harvest season. Over this mountain right there, that's where we would get our teepee poles from. That mountain up top, that's where our family leaves our offerings each year. And so that was like the most beautiful healing moment for me. And I asked my daughter, like, what does this mean to you? And she's like,
Della.
she's like,
I don't know.
she's like, what's the Wi-Fi password? But I think that's something I'm appreciating. And it makes me think of like what we love about ourselves and how we're changing. Adela doesn't realize it now, but the fact that she's been to a place that she will always have ties and connections to, I'm starting to realize and have a deeper appreciation and respect for. And I think that that's also one of the things I'm starting to love about myself. And I think it comes with like motherhood, maturity, age, to know that 3 or 4 generations of us were standing right there at that time. Plus, you never walk alone. So your ancestors are with you in that moment, my grandma, everybody. And to be in that moment, I was so proud and I felt so beautiful because I knew that I had something very special inside of me. And I think in those moments, it's easy for me to identify what I love about myself. But that was it was such a great moment. And the kids could care less. They just wanted to go climb trees. And they're like, can we go be some wild Indians now? I was like, go, just go. let me
Go
cry
frolic.
alone.
Go frolic.
Go frolic in the meadow.
Yeah.
Have you had moments like that? I mean, Las Cruces is so beautiful. The terrain is gorgeous.
Right.
It's hot as hell. But like, how do you have moments like that with your kids and
All the time. So, today is 1 year since my grandmother passed away. Yeah. So today is kind of like I don't know, just kind of the days leading up to today. Like I went on a Polaris ride the other day at like midnight by myself, and I just parked on top of a mountain and I looked over, it was like raining a little bit, but then it stopped and like it cleared a little bit and you could see that like, it was a full moon. And I kind of just felt this peace, really, to know that I'm living in a place where my people have lived for, since time immemorial. And that in any direction, 3 or 5 hours, like my people have lived there. Like these are our homelands, and reconnecting with my family from El Paso and, like knowing that my family, the Lucero family, has been there for, since time immemorial, like that place of knowing that you belong somewhere brings you such peace.
It does.
And, my kids, Danito just got his hair cut. He just turned 8 and he got his like hair cut. And I was so emotional about that because I wanted him to keep his hair long and I wanted him to, and kind of just not forget the things that I teach him, because like you, as I've gotten older every year, I have loved myself in so many like stages and in such like full circle at that moment that it's like we've always been so beautiful. And it's not just because I make makeup or because I do makeup. It's because we have always just been beautiful. And as I was like sitting out there on that Polaris, like, just missing him, my man, and like, getting emotional about like leading up to, working and my grandmother's, anniversary of taking her trip into the spirit world. Like, I kind of just feel like I'm going into a new season that I don't really understand. And that can be scary a little bit. But the thing that I do know is where I belong, like where I come from. And I tell people all the time, if you know where you come from, you know where you're going.
I love that. Yeah.
And so teaching that to my kids, there's more emphasis, like you, on teaching Adela where she comes from and having that connection to culture. I always knew, when I'd spend my summers in the pueblos and stuff like that, that like where I came from, I always knew I was like an indigenous person. I always knew that stuff. It wasn't something that was so important to me because I just thought this is how it is, But now that I have my kids, like it's important for me.
Yeah.
I want my sons to know how to harvest deer and know how to dance and know how to, do the things that my family does. And not so much like in the Western world, right? Like I want them to be traditional in any way and sense that they can be. And that wasn't so important to me back then, but it is now.
I feel that. Yes. Something that I've been really reflecting and just feeling deeply and trying to understand is this saying, everything that you seek is already within you. And whether, I'm doing my morning meditation, my morning prayer, and I'm praying for patience. Wait, I'm already patient. Or I'm praying,
Right.
for different things. It's like, okay, I already have that. And it's a reminder that everything that you're seeking is within you. So just like, as you talked about your son, you want him to be all these things. It's already within him.
Right.
He just needs spaces to unlock it.
Right.
To lean into it and to grow into himself. And so
it was funny because the other day he was getting ready for school and like he's got his hair cut really short. So this kid's hair was like halfway down his back. And he's like, you know what? Like, I just want to have short hair. But we were talking about, he was talking about what they were learning about in school. And I was like, what are you guys learning about? And he's like, oh, well, we're just learning about like, where we're from, and I was telling my teacher that like I'm an army brat, that I'm a California bear because he was born in California, but I lived in New York and I like the New York Yankees. And he's like, and then I told her too that I was native, and I was like, and what'd you tell her? What kind of native are you? And he's like, I'm a Yaqui, I'm a Yoemi. And I was just like, Danielito's just this like cute little boy, and I was just, I don't know, something just fell off of me, like, to know that my son is proud of who he is and that he's proud to say and he doesn't care. I think when I was growing up, I never said stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always had to have, like, remember the Clinique compacts? They were always, like, 3 shades too light. I freaking bleached my hair with peroxide one year because I wanted to have like lighter hair.
Yeah.
I stayed in like one summer because I didn't want to be so dark. Like I went through all of those things, and to see my children now, they don't care about any of that stuff. That was like a full circle moment for me.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. I was thinking the same thing about my daughter. She comes home and she's like, Mom, I started a club at school today. And I was like, cool. What kind of club? And she's like, I started a powwow club. And I was like, what the? You don't even go to powwows with me. I made this girl 3 dresses last year and she didn't wear them.
Right.
She'll do a grand entry. And then she's like, over it. But she's like, yeah, no. So I'm the chair of this club. And she has a list of all these people, and they meet at One Tree at recess every day except Tuesday, and she talks to them about powwow dancing.
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, I would have never done that.
Right.
And I said, Adela, do you want to bring some of your dresses in? She's like, oh, I don't know. And she goes, I'm kind of embarrassed. And I said, Adela, do you know how many people wish they were Native?
Right.
We got pretendians running in these streets.
We're going to go see them this weekend right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But really.
And then I said, do you know how many people want to be Native? And she's like, oh, yeah, my best friend Claire does. Like, little white girl. And I was just like, see?
Yeah. She's
It's
like,
a
I'm a Cherokee
superpower.
Prince.
But the fact that our kids are, doing things that we never had the courage or the strength to, I think it's beautiful, but we have to also know it's a reflection of how we've raised them. And
Right.
so you are doing such a fabulous job with your kids.
Thank you. Yeah. I have 4, by the way, for those who don't know. And Anissa just started her senior year.
Okay.
And she already got her cap and gown, and she'll turn 18 a couple days after she graduates high school, and she's excited about where she's gonna go to college, and Mateo. Today was picture day, and he's like, Mama, can you braid my hair? I need you to braid my hair. And he's like, make sure I don't have no flyaways. And, he's trying to look fly for his pictures for school. And his hair is like literally down to his butt.
Mm-hmm.
And, Danielito and Cheyenne, they're in 3rd and 1st grade now. And that's why I say, like, I don't know what season I'm going into. I was thinking about that, like, at the start of, like, what you're saying. I know what the Gregorian calendar says, and I know what the Mexica calendar says what season it is, but like there are seasons in your life that don't necessarily flow with those calendar times.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like new territory for me. So I do have a question.
It does feel like spring. As you're entering something new and you're embracing new beginnings, new awareness of yourself, it sounds like spring to me.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask you. I was like, what do you think, like, season I'm going through? I don't know.
Yeah, you're going forward with clear eyes, open heart. Yeah. You look rested. It sounds like spring to me.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about the projects that we're working on. We got a lot of crazy stuff going on here today. You got to listen to a little bit of it.
I love it.
I'm excited for Prados. I'm refreshed. I came home. I ended up going to Prague. Prague is so beautiful. The food is so good. I crave the potato dumplings every day. It's like a breaded potato and bread dumpling in like this yellow sauce. They eat pork with everything. So like by the time we were done with Prague, I was like, I probably have high cholesterol right now. But we walked everywhere. So that was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then we ended up going back to Poland. Stayed there for like 3 days. So beautiful. And then we went to Venice for 5 days, and we just traveled to a whole bunch of like Italian cities around Venice. I miss Venice a lot. If I had an unlimited amount of money, I would go buy a condo or an apartment in Venice and just make that my like summer home, because it was so beautiful. And I got to visit with my friends in Vicenza. My friend Marisa, she's from Sicily. And I speak a little bit of Italian, and her mom only speaks Sicilian Italian. Sicilian Italian is like Spanish and like Italian mixed together, so I could have like a whole conversation with her.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really nice. And then we came home. Daniel was here for 5 days. Watching him leave was absolutely heartbreaking, but like he should be coming back sooner than we thought. And I'm just grinding, making plans to see my friends everywhere I go, and
I love it.
Living a best life for sure.
I love that. As you deserve.
Hello.
Hi.
No, that's okay.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
See you.
He's like, whoa, what's happening here?
Do you have some words you want to share with us?
I know, right? Do you have words of wisdom, sir? Well, yeah, I just, but tell me, what do you love about yourself?
Oh my God.
Let's end it with that.
Okay. I love the self-awareness that I have. I love the type of mother that I am. I love the color of my skin.
Yes.
And I love my ability to have strong, I'm going to get emotional now. I love the network of like strong sisters that I have, and I'm so proud to have you in as one of them. So yes, those are the things I love.
I'm so proud. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to be careful about this, because sometimes when I'm doing this practice, I'll get checked and say, okay, that's not about you. Get back to what it is about yourself. And so that's why I feel like I'm kind of struggling right now. Maybe learning that self-love is a process.
Every day.
And sometimes I'll love myself more than other days, and that's okay too.
Right.
So for anybody listening, just keep that in mind, is that sometimes we love ourselves more than others, and it's okay.
Yeah.
As my mom would always say, the sun will rise tomorrow. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thank you for sharing that, because I could tell you all day everything that I love about you. You know, your sense of humor, like you're freaking hilarious, and your deep sense of care, like your deep sense of care for people, how people feel, and how you protect. You're a protector, like a fierce protector. And I love that about you. And I love how you just show up for people, even sometimes when they probably don't show up for you. Like, you show up for people as best as you can. And you're so supportive and caring and kind. And you are a beautiful, beautiful woman and an even more beautiful mother.
Oh,
and Adela gets to see, I tell everybody, our kids get to see the good, the bad, the ugly. But, you know, at the end of the day, they literally cannot live without us. And so that lets me and reassures me that I'm doing a good job. And I know that that's the same for you. So good job, because I love how you also mother and how you allow your kid to be herself, but still like that she has a, you know, a long line of strong matriarchs behind her. And so
For sure.
keep that up, because people are watching and they're looking at how we, you know, how we lead, and you're a leader. So I'm excited for your future and what you're going to be doing. I know this is a time of rest for you a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're kind of just rediscovering and, you know, processing, and also going through your own season. But I'm excited for your future and like what you're going to be doing next.
I appreciate it so much. And I look forward to maybe next time we're together, I can share more about it.
I know. So you guys have to come back and watch the next episode that we have with Nikki on the Chingona Chisme Hour.
Thank you for having me. I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you for coming. I don't know. Was it under an hour? It was?
Stop. Go.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we got 3 minutes.
Okay. Hold your peace sign. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. E-Man wants to do the goat noise.
Oh, yeah. The goat noise. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
His focused look every time.
It's like, this is my moment. Be good to yourselves and be good to others. Bye.
Bye.